So if I have to be honest, thinking of sustainable fashion here in Tanzania, I guess the situation is a bit critical at the moment. I've been witnessing these lessons that we had at the University of Dar es Salaam, where we brought a professor from Polytechnic of Milan in Dar es Salaam for a 30-hour class on fashion design. And she mentioned these topics to the students, the environmental impact and the social impact of fashion. And literally the whole class was blown apart. They didn't even think of that. They had no awareness at all. So, and these are the young generation, not even Gen Z, I guess they're even younger than that, no? So it feels like if these people who are digitally connected by all means are not even aware of the problem, it means that there's a huge gap in the communication in Tanzania at the moment, no? So I feel like there's a huge responsibility here that we all have, as influencers, as change makers. I think more and more key roles, key people in the fashion system and in also media should start, talking about this. Because awareness is the major problem right now in the country. Most people don't even know what it means. And I guess the country has so much potential because there's a lot of natural resources that can be used. And, mitumba is a whole story that can be leveraged for fashion. And there are here and there some brilliant creative minds that are doing something, but the vast majority of the consumers are still numb completely. They buy the Chinese imported items or, they buy the mitumba, but then they also waste their clothes as well, so they are part of the problem without even knowing that there is a problem. So I think the solution would be more people like this magazine, more people talking about it and spreading the awareness, because that's the start. Then new behaviors can be implemented, but at first you need to know what's going on, no? So. I think we all have responsibility, and I think the Spider-Man famous quote, from great powers it stems great responsibility, and for me, the more Endelea grows, the more I feel these 30,000 people today that are following me on Instagram, that they might be 300,000 tomorrow. I owe them something. I need to keep them informed, keep them in the loop. We're going to Milan Fashion Week now in September, so we're growing. It's an amazing opportunity. It's a reward, which feels great. And I cried for half an hour when I learned about us going to Milan Fashion Week. But it's also a huge responsibility. As you said, it gives you the power to talk to the people, and I think everyone who is in power needs to, be very upfront, be very honest, be very transparent. Big companies, they make big money, and the more money you make, the more you end up being shady about it. While for us, we're launching the new collection in September, we're launching a new website, and we're working on transparency first. So for every item of the collection, we will tell exactly how much the fabric costed, the labor costed, shipping, and then how the margin is supporting a company. Because people most times don't even think about that, no? So I think the more we grow, the more we are accountable for everything we do. And our impact grows with us. So I feel a responsibility towards Europe, let's say, in terms of my customers, but also a big responsibility towards Tanzania, because we're growing together. We're one team in two different continents. So also, I'm very careful of making both teams grow at the same pace, So Endelea going to Milan Fashion Week is going to impact also people here, the way we will work possibly, with more creatives, with more fundi, establishing networks with other projects, with other workshops. So it's a good feeling, because it's also somehow terrifying, because of course it's all on one person, but it gives me purpose, to wake up in the morning knowing that I have the power to make all these people's lives better. So that's the main reward. So my mind, like my head is full of dreams and plans and strategies. And the near future is going to be bright, of course, because I said I'm an optimistic person. What I really want to work for in the upcoming year, 2 years, is networks. Like I really want to explore, and I'm already in the process of doing that, other projects in Tanzania run by Tanzanian people who are already leveraging, natural fibers, natural dye, traditional techniques. We work with kikoi, hand-woven kikoi, and we want to go back to that for sure, to work with projects that do tie-dye and natural dyes and jewels, sisal. There's so much in this country, and maybe it's still at a local level and a very small scale. So now, as I was saying, now that Endelea is growing, I want to make other projects grow with us. So that's the main thing you should expect from us in the next future, like seeing more collaborations and seeing us, lifting also others as we grow and as we go, which feels like very empowering and we can learn. I mean, it's always mutual. Like we grow together, and that's what we're going to do more and more with Tanzania first, and then with other countries. Kenya, Uganda. I'm already traveling around, trying to explore and research for new adventures. So we hope we can go like broad in Africa at some point. At the moment, Endelea is working mainly with kitenge, so wax fabrics, but as you can see, also with Masai, Masai check like this one, Masai shuka. We had a capsule last year made in kikoi, entirely hand-dyed and hand-woven here in Dar es Salaam. And we are now exploring possibilities for next summer to work with tie-dye, hand-dye, batik, and for clothes, and then sisal and baskets like earring baskets and these kind of techniques for our home decor collections. So as I said, like materials are really interesting, and there's a huge potential in Africa. I was in Senegal and in Kenya, and I'm planning on going like in other African countries. West Africa is way more diverse in terms of fabrics. You have the indigo, you have the mud cloth, you have the old traditional techniques that are hard to find in East Africa. I think East Africa is suffering also from a loss somehow of the link with tradition because of the exposure it has to Chinese market and to imports. But the goal would be to start working very locally, in very artisanal way, to feature more of these fabrics that have a story to tell, and a story that is authentic from the territory. So that's for sure our direction with fabric. So distance can be tough. We had that first hit of how difficult it can be to work together during the first lockdown, like the first COVID wave, when I was forced to stay in Italy for 6 months and I couldn't come here as often as I used to do before COVID. But that was also a great chance to give more trust to the Tanzanian team and start really like trusting each other and also giving responsibility to other people. So in 2020, we managed to do a whole collection from the distance, using WhatsApp, which is big in the country, like both countries actually, videos like showing like the stitching and the details and talking a lot. Group chats are great because you can get the model, like the pattern maker, the designer, the tailors all in the same group and like discuss, which can be a jungle sometimes, but I think technology is helping us a lot even after like the big major hit of COVID passed, I mean, I'm traveling now regularly, like 3 months in Italy, 3 months in Tanzania, and I can link up the two teams. I brought a person from the Tanzanian team, the director here in Dar es Salaam, to Milan. So she worked for a month with the Italian team. And then I brought people from the Italian team in Tanzania, not only production related, but also the marketing manager came, and the sustainability manager, of course, came here. But even the copywriter wanted to come. So, I mean, it's nice because I see people getting, you know, to know each other in person after working together for so long on WhatsApp. And I think distance, of course, it's challenging, but it's also a great opportunity also to make it more special when we actually meet in person. It's always such a joy. Even for me, after 3 months I'm in Italy, I come back here, I have this wave of joy, and the tailors and the thing also of not seeing someone every day makes it more special when you are together. So we're taking the positive sides, let's say. If a genie showed up and granted me one wish for Endelea, I guess I would wish, I mean, the first thing, of course, that pops into my mind is I wish Endelea to be all over the place, you know, to be a model, like to be a pattern that's repeating in other countries, in other African countries, but also in other developing countries around the world. Like making a business that is sustainable for real. Like the more we sell, the more our impact in Tanzania is growing. It's like there's no charity there, there's no additional sides. Of course, we are also investing in non-profit projects, but the thing is, this skirt is made in an ethical way. Like the tailors have been paid 96% more than the average wage in Tanzania. It paid their health insurance, it paid their free food and the free English classes that we're offering them. So the packaging is sustainable, the relationship with our customers is transparent and inclusive. So everything about this skirt is positive. So the more skirts we sell, the more positive impact we have. So what if all companies, not only in fashion, but all companies would be able to do that? Like the more wine you sell, the more positive impact Martini is able to have on the communities, you know? Like I would love that, like for the genie to realize. Then on a second thought, I would say I would love the genie to make Endelea go without me so that I can take a vacation. But that's the less serious answer. Still is real. I would like to disappear for a month and still have reached the point in which everyone is able to do their job, everyone is responsible and owns, you know, their part of the project without me being there coordinating. Because that will also mean, first, that I can go on holiday, but also second, that everyone is owner, no? Which is the biggest achievement for an entrepreneur. Like, we're all part of this for real, not me making anyone like doing their part, but everyone doing their part because they own that part. So that would be the real, like the less, you know, mass communication and more authentic wish for the genie.